Right now, as you are watching this, a storm train is loading up across the United States that will not stop for an entire week. We are talking about 5 consecutive days of severe weather, over 270 cities in the direct path, and more than 60 million Americans who need to hear what I am about to tell you. If you live anywhere from Texas to Maine, do not click away. The next 10 minutes could be the most important weather information you hear all month. Here is what makes this different from a normal spring storm. This is not one system. This is a chain of storms, back to back to back, rolling through the same areas day after day from Wednesday, March 4th, all the way through Saturday, March 7th, and potentially into the following week. Some cities will be under severe weather threats for 3 straight days. 3 days. And the combination of giant hail, damaging winds, tornadoes, and catastrophic flooding is something we have not seen this early in the season in years. Now, I made you a promise, so let me deliver on it right now. In the next 30 seconds, I am going to tell you exactly which day is the most dangerous for your specific region. If you are in Texas, your worst day is Wednesday, and it comes back again on Saturday. If you are in Oklahoma, Thursday and Friday are your danger days. If you are in Kansas, Arkansas, or Missouri, Friday is the day you absolutely cannot ignore. And if you are in the Ohio Valley or the Mid-Atlantic, the flooding and severe storms build through Thursday and peak over the weekend. But stay with me because at the 5-minute mark, I am going to break down the hour-by-hour timing for over 270 cities so you know exactly when the storms hit your neighborhood, when they peak, and when they finally move out. Before we get into the day-by-day breakdown, you need to understand why this is happening and why it is going to keep happening for days. Picture this. A massive ridge of high pressure is building over the eastern United States right now, pumping temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above average. We are talking about 80-degree heat surging as far north as the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic in early March. That is spring fever on steroids. But here is the twist. While all that warmth and moisture is flooding north from the Gulf of Mexico, a series of troughs, those are dips in the jet stream, are diving down from the Rockies one after another. When that cold air from the north collides with the warm, unstable air from the south, you know what happens. The atmosphere goes absolutely haywire. And here is the part that makes this a true storm train. After the first trough moves through on Wednesday, another one, a bigger one, loads up in the west and rolls into the plains by Thursday and Friday. And does it stop there? No. Yet another major trough is already forming behind that one, bringing more severe weather into Saturday and potentially into the following week. Almost every single day through the middle of March is going to have some sort of severe weather threat somewhere in the United States. Let me give you the numbers that matter. Over 60 million people are in the combined risk zones across these 5 days. The Storm Prediction Center has already issued outlooks showing 15% severe weather probabilities on multiple days, and that number is likely going up. We could see hail the size of baseballs, wind gusts over 70 miles per hour, and a multi-day tornado threat that ramps up as the week goes on. And on top of all that, 7 inches of rain or more could fall in some areas, triggering flash flooding across drought-hardened soils that cannot absorb it fast enough. Now here is your complete day-by-day breakdown, starting with the winter weather that is already moving in today. Today, Tuesday, March 3rd, is the opening act, and it is all about ice and snow from the Mid-Atlantic through New England. This is the system that is already causing problems right now, and if you are anywhere along the Interstate 81 corridor, the Interstate 95 corridor, or the Interstate 79 corridor, you need to pay attention. Here is the timing for today's winter weather. Starting overnight tonight and into early Tuesday morning, a classic cold air damming setup is squeezing out a wintry mix across the region. The cold air from a high-pressure system to the north is getting trapped against the mountains, and that is creating the perfect setup for freezing rain and sleet. For Washington, District of Columbia, and the Baltimore area, expect a burst of snow or sleet starting around 5 in the morning through about 9 in the morning Tuesday. You could see an inch or two of accumulation before a quick changeover to rain as warm air pushes in from the south. The snow will melt fast once the rain arrives. For Philadelphia, the wintry mix arrives between 6 and 10 in the morning Tuesday. Snow and sleet mixing in, probably an inch at most before transitioning to rain. It is going to be a messy morning commute, but not a crippling event. For Harrisburg and State College in Pennsylvania, this is where it gets more concerning. Freezing rain and ice accumulation of 1/10 to 1/4 inch is possible overnight tonight through Tuesday morning. That is enough to make roads extremely treacherous and could cause some isolated power outages in the higher elevations. For the mountains of West Virginia, including areas around Elkins and Snowshoe, winter storm warnings are in effect. Ice accumulation up to 1/4 inch is possible, with some spots seeing up to 4 inches of snow on top of that. This is the area most likely to see power outages from this system. For upstate New York, Albany, and the Hudson Valley, snow arrives Tuesday afternoon, and you could see 1 to 3 inches before it tapers off Tuesday night. The Adirondacks could see a bit more, maybe 3 to 5 inches in the higher elevations. For New England, here is your breakdown. Boston could see a dusting to 1 inch Tuesday afternoon into evening, mainly a nuisance event. Hartford and the Connecticut River Valley might see 1 inch or 2 with some icing mixed in. Vermont and New Hampshire are looking at the highest totals in New England. 2 to 4 inches of snow possible in the Green Mountains and White Mountains. The down east areas of Maine could also pick up 2 to 3 inches. The bottom line on today's winter weather is this: it is not going to be historic, it is not going to be catastrophic. But if you are driving on Interstate 81, Interstate 95, or Interstate 79 today, slow down, give yourself extra time, and watch for icy patches, especially on bridges and overpasses. Now, the important thing to understand is that this system is the same energy that is going to transition into the severe weather machine across the central United States. And that brings us to the main event. Do not skip past this next section. What I am about to walk you through is going to affect more Americans than any weather event so far in 2026. And the most dangerous day might surprise you. I will reveal which day that is in just a moment. Wednesday, March 4th is when the storm train officially starts rolling. The Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted a large slight risk area across North Texas and into western Arkansas. Over 8 million people are inside this risk zone, and the primary threats are large hail and damaging winds. Here is your city-by-city timing for Wednesday. Dallas and Fort Worth, storms begin developing between 2 and 4 in the afternoon Wednesday as a quasi-stationary front interacts with a robust warm sector. By 7 in the evening, convective available potential energy values will be around 2,000 joules per kilogram. That is more than enough fuel to power scattered supercells. The storms will peak between 5 and 9 in the evening and should move east of the metro area by midnight. Your biggest threat is hail, potentially golf ball sized or larger. Waco, Texas, you are right in the bullseye for the largest hail Wednesday. Storms develop by mid-afternoon around 1 to 3 in the afternoon and peak from 4 to 8 in the evening. Hail up to 2 inches in diameter is possible. For the Abilene area, storms arrive a bit later, between 3 and 6 in the evening, with the severe threat peaking between 5 and 9 in the evening. Austin, you are on the southern edge of the risk zone. Expect thunderstorms Wednesday evening, mainly after 6 in the evening, but the severe threat is lower for you compared to areas further north. Fort Smith, Arkansas, and Fayetteville, Arkansas, you are in the eastern portion of the risk zone. Storms will arrive later Wednesday evening between 7 and 11 at night. Large hail and damaging winds are the primary concerns. For the Oklahoma side, areas around McAllister and the Choctaw Nation region, storms arrive Wednesday evening between 6 and 10 at night, with hail being the primary threat. St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, you will hear thunder roll Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The storms will be weakening as they reach you, but heavy rain and gusty winds are still possible. Thunder and lightning begin around midnight and continue through the early morning hours Thursday. One critical detail about Wednesday: this day does not look like a major tornado day. The shear profile favors hail and wind over tornadoes, but do not let your guard down because things change dramatically on Thursday. Thursday, March 5th is when the tornado threat ramps up. The setup shifts to a dry line configuration, which is not 100% common this early in March, but is a proven tornado producer when it fires. The Storm Prediction Center has a 15% severe probability highlighted across the southern plains, with over 1 million people in the risk zone. Here's the thing about Thursday that has my attention. Surface dew points will be in the 50s and 60s, combined with a deeper mid-level lapse rate and significantly more deep layer shear than the Wednesday system. That combination is a recipe for rotating supercells. And this is where I need you to pay close attention, because the bullseye for Thursday's worst weather runs from San Angelo, Texas, up through Abilene, through Wichita Falls, and into Lawton, Oklahoma. Here is your Thursday timing breakdown. San Angelo, Texas, storms begin developing along the dry line by early afternoon, around 1 to 3 in the evening. This is where the first supercells are most likely to form. These storms could produce large hail and tornadoes. Peak severe threat is from 2 to 7 in the evening. Abilene, Texas, supercells approach from the west between 3 and 6 in the evening. This is a direct hit zone for the worst of Thursday's weather. Have your safe room ready and know exactly where you are going to go. Wichita Falls, Texas, the severe threat arrives between 4 and 8 in the evening as supercells track northeastward off the dry line. Tornadoes and very large hail are both possible. Lawton, Oklahoma, storms arrive between 5 and 9 in the evening. You are at the northern end of the highest risk zone. Oklahoma City, you are on the northeastern edge of Thursday's risk. Storms may reach you by late evening between 8 and 11 at night, but they may be weakening some by then. Still, stay weather aware. Amarillo, Texas, you are on the western fringe of the risk zone. Isolated storms are possible Thursday afternoon, but the main action will be to your southeast. Now, I am not calling Thursday a full-blown tornado outbreak, but the ingredients are more favorable for tornadoes than Wednesday, and any supercell that develops along that dry line could produce a tornado with little warning. Take this seriously. And now we arrive at the day I have been building up to. This is the one I am most concerned about. And if you skipped ahead to find it, welcome, you made the right call. Do not miss what comes next. Friday, March 6th is the day that keeps me up at night. This is the day with the highest confidence for supercells, the broadest severe weather footprint, and the greatest tornado potential of the entire sequence. The Storm Prediction Center has already issued a massive 15% risk area stretching from Dallas up through Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, and into southern Iowa. 15 million people are inside this corridor. Let me say that again. 15 million people. Here is why Friday is different from the other days. A strengthening mid-level jet stream is going to drive supercell development. Unlike Thursday, this day is not dependent on the dry line. There is going to be tremendous lift across a huge area, and here is the critical sequence of events. During the afternoon, there will be a window where discrete supercells form ahead of the main system. These supercells will be fully capable of producing significant tornadoes. Large, long-track tornadoes are possible. Then, by evening, those supercells will merge into a giant squall line with bow echo segments that bring destructive straight-line winds. And the threat does not end when the sun goes down. As the low-level jet ramps up Friday night into Saturday morning, additional tornadoes can form within the line of storms, and those nighttime tornadoes are the most dangerous kind because people are asleep. Here is your city-by-city Friday timing, and this is the part where I need every single person in these areas to write this down or screenshot this. Dallas and Fort Worth, your third day under the gun this week. Storms begin developing to your west between noon and 2 in the afternoon. The first supercells could impact the metro area between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. The squall line arrives between 6 and 9 in the evening with destructive winds. Storms exit by midnight. Waco and Temple, Texas. Storms arrive between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. Supercells possible with tornadoes and large hail. Squall line moves through between 5 and 8 in the evening. Oklahoma City, this is your most dangerous day of the entire sequence. Supercells could develop to your southwest by early afternoon between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. The most intense storms impact the metro area between 3 and 7 in the evening. This is the window for tornadoes. The squall line follows between 7 and 10 in the evening with damaging winds. Norman and Moore, Oklahoma, same timing as Oklahoma City. Given these cities' history with tornadoes, please make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings and know your shelter plan. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the severe threat arrives later than Oklahoma City. Supercells approach from the southwest between 4 and 7 in the evening. The squall line comes through between 8 and 11 at night. Heavy rain and flash flooding compound the severe weather threat. Kansas City, Missouri, storms arrive from the west between 5 and 9 in the evening. The squall line brings damaging winds between 9 in the evening and 1 in the morning Saturday. This is going to be an overnight event for you. Wichita, Kansas, supercells possible from 3 to 7 in the evening Friday. Squall line arrives between 7 and 10 in the evening. Topeka, Kansas, severe storms between 4 and 8 in the evening with the squall line pushing through between 8 and 11 at night. Springfield, Missouri, the squall line arrives between 9 in the evening and midnight. Heavy rain is going to be a huge concern here given the terrain. Jefferson City, Missouri, storms roll in between 10 in the evening and 2 in the morning Saturday. Nighttime tornado threat is real for this area. Joplin, Missouri, storms arrive between 7 and 11 in the evening Friday. Given Joplin's history, do not take this lightly. Des Moines, Iowa, you are on the northern edge of the risk. Storms possible late Friday evening into overnight, mainly after 10 at night. And I need to deliver on my promise. Here is the expanded city list covering your timing across all the days. This is for over 270 locations, so listen for your area. For the entire state of Texas, here are your key cities and timing. Houston, thunderstorms possible Wednesday night through Thursday, mainly after 8 in the evening Wednesday, and again Friday afternoon into evening. San Antonio, storms Wednesday evening between 5 and 10 at night, and again Friday afternoon. Lubbock, Thursday afternoon storms possible between 2 and 7 in the evening along the dry line. Midland and Odessa, isolated storms Thursday between 1 and 5 in the evening. College Station and Bryan, storms Wednesday night between 8 and midnight, and again Friday between 3 and 8 in the evening. Tyler and Longview, storms Wednesday night and again Friday evening. Lufkin and Nacogdoches, storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Texarkana, storms Wednesday night between 9 and 2 in the morning Thursday, and again Friday evening. Corpus Christi, thunderstorms possible Wednesday evening, mainly rain, low severe threat. Brownsville and McAllen, storms possible Wednesday night, minimal severe threat. El Paso, you are in the clear this week. Enjoy the sunshine. For the entire state of Oklahoma, here is your breakdown. Tulsa, as I detailed, Friday is your biggest day, 4 to 11 in the evening. Norman, Friday is the danger day, 1 to 7 in the evening for the most intense storms. Stillwater, Friday supercells possible between 2 and 6 in the evening. Enid, storms Thursday evening and again Friday afternoon between 2 and 7. Muskogee, storms Wednesday night and the big event Friday evening between 5 and 10. Bartlesville, Friday evening storms between 5 and 9. Durant, storms Thursday afternoon and again Friday. Woodward, Thursday afternoon storms possible along the dry line. Ponca City, Friday is your day, storms between 3 and 8 in the evening. Ardmore, Thursday and Friday, both active, afternoon into evening hours both days. For the state of Kansas, here is what you need to know. Wichita, Friday is the big day, 3 to 10 in the evening. Topeka, Friday evening into overnight, 4 in the evening to midnight. Manhattan, Kansas, Friday storms between 3 and 9 in the evening. Emporia, Friday between 4 and 10 in the evening. Dodge City, Thursday afternoon, isolated storms. Friday, the main event between 2 and 8. Salina, Friday storms between 3 and 9 in the evening. Garden City, Thursday afternoon storms possible. Lawrence, Friday evening into overnight. Hutchinson, Friday between 3 and 9 in the evening. Liberal, Thursday afternoon is your primary risk day. For the state of Arkansas, listen carefully because flooding is going to be a massive issue for you on top of the severe weather. Little Rock, storms, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and again Friday evening into Saturday morning. Expect heavy rain totals of 4 to 7 inches over the multi-day period. Fort Smith, storms Wednesday evening between 7 and midnight, and again Friday. This is ground zero for the heaviest rain totals, potentially exceeding 7 inches. Fayetteville, Bentonville, and Rogers, storms Wednesday evening, and the heavy rain train continues through Saturday. Jonesboro, storms Thursday into Friday. Pine Bluff, storms Wednesday night and Friday evening. Hot Springs, storms Wednesday night and again Friday into Saturday. Russellville, storms Wednesday evening and continuing intermittently through Saturday. Texarkana, Arkansas side, same as the Texas timing, Wednesday night and Friday evening. Now here is where things get really serious for a region that a lot of people are not talking about yet. The Ozarks and the entire region from eastern Oklahoma through Arkansas, southern Missouri, and into western Tennessee are going to get absolutely hammered with rain this week. The latest precipitation forecast shows a bullseye of 7 inches of rain or more centered around Dallas up through Tulsa and Fort Smith. But even outside of that bullseye, 2 to 5 inches of rain is likely across a massive area. And here is the dangerous part. These storms are going to train over the same areas repeatedly. What that means is one line of storms moves through, dumps rain, and then another line forms right behind it and drops rain on the exact same spots. This is going to happen multiple times from Thursday through Saturday. The soils in many of these areas are drought-hardened, which means the ground cannot absorb the water fast enough. Creek beds and stream channels that have been dry could turn into raging torrents within minutes. For Missouri, here is your full breakdown. Springfield, multiple rounds of storms Thursday through Saturday. Flash flooding is a serious concern in the Ozarks terrain. Storms peak Friday evening through Saturday morning. Kansas City, severe storms Friday evening as detailed above, plus heavy rain continuing into Saturday. St. Louis, thunderstorms and heavy rain Wednesday night into Thursday, and another round Friday night into Saturday. The severe threat is lower for you, but flooding is a real concern. Joplin, severe storms Friday evening and flash flooding through Saturday. Jefferson City, overnight storms Friday into Saturday with tornado potential and heavy rain. Columbia, Missouri, storms Friday evening into Saturday morning. Cape Girardeau, storms Thursday night and again Friday night into Saturday. Branson, you are in the heavy rain zone, multiple rounds of storms Thursday through Saturday with flash flood potential. For Illinois, here are your cities. Chicago, thunderstorms possible Wednesday night, mainly rain, and another round Friday night into Saturday. The severe threat for Chicago is lower than areas further south, but gusty winds and heavy rain are in the forecast. Springfield, Illinois, storms Wednesday night and again Friday evening into Saturday. Peoria, storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning and again Friday night. Champaign and Urbana, storms Thursday and again late Friday. Carbondale, you are in the heavy rain zone. Multiple rounds of storms Wednesday through Saturday. East St. Louis, same timing as St. Louis. Rockford, storms possible late Friday into Saturday, mainly rain. For Indiana, here is your timing. Indianapolis, thunderstorms begin Wednesday night and the heaviest rain arrives Thursday through Friday. Expect 2 to 4 inches of rain total. Fort Wayne, storms Thursday into Friday. Evansville in the heavy rain zone, storms Wednesday through Saturday with potential for 3 to 5 inches of rain. Terre Haute, heavy rain and storms Wednesday night through Saturday. Bloomington, storms Thursday into Friday with heavy rain. South Bend, storms possible late Thursday into Friday. For Ohio, pay attention because the flooding threat extends into your state as well. Columbus, thunderstorms and heavy rain Thursday through Saturday, 2 to 4 inches possible. Cincinnati, storms begin Wednesday night and the heavy rain continues through the weekend. Dayton, same timing as Cincinnati. Cleveland, storms Thursday night into Friday, mainly rain with gusty winds. Toledo, storms possible Thursday night into Friday. Akron and Canton, storms Thursday night into Friday with heavy rain possible. For Kentucky, here is what to expect. Louisville, heavy rain and thunderstorms Wednesday night through the weekend, 3 to 5 inches of rain possible. Lexington, storms, Wednesday night continuing intermittently through Saturday. Bowling Green, storms Thursday through Saturday. Paducah, in the heavy rain zone, storms Wednesday through Saturday. Owensboro, heavy rain and storms Thursday through Saturday. Covington, same timing as Cincinnati. For Tennessee, the western portion of the state is in the firing line. Memphis, thunderstorms and heavy rain Wednesday through Saturday. Flash flooding is a major concern. Nashville, storms Thursday into Friday with heavy rain. Knoxville, storms possible Friday into Saturday. Lower severe threat, but rain is still significant. Chattanooga, storms Friday into Saturday. Jackson, Tennessee, in the heavy rain zone Wednesday through Saturday. For West Virginia, you have got a double whammy. Today, ice and snow plus the heavy rain later this week. Charleston, ice today. Then heavy rain Thursday through Saturday, 2 to 4 inches possible. Morgantown, ice and snow today, transitioning to rain showers later this week. Huntington, heavy rain Thursday through Saturday. Beckley, ice today with heavy rain later in the week. Wheeling, similar pattern, ice today and heavy rain later. For Pennsylvania, the winter weather is your immediate concern. Pittsburgh, a wintry mix today, transitioning to heavy rain later this week. Philadelphia, a burst of snow or sleet Tuesday morning, an inch or two possible before changing to rain. Harrisburg and State College, the icing zone today, a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of ice possible. Then heavy rain arrives later this week. For Virginia and the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., snow and sleet. Tuesday morning, an inch possible, transitioning quickly to rain. Richmond, a brief wintry mix Tuesday morning. Norfolk, mainly rain from this system. Roanoke, icing possible tonight into Tuesday morning in the higher elevations. For New York, here are your cities. New York City, a dusting to an inch possible Tuesday, transitioning to rain by midday. Albany, 1 to 3 inches of snow Tuesday afternoon into evening. Syracuse, snow Tuesday afternoon, 1 to 3 inches. Buffalo, light snow possible Tuesday. Rochester, light snow Tuesday. For New England, Boston, a dusting to an inch Tuesday afternoon into evening, not a major event. Hartford, Connecticut, an inch or two possible with some icing mixed in. Providence, Rhode Island, a dusting to an inch. Burlington, Vermont, 2 to 4 inches of snow possible. Portland, Maine, 1 to 3 inches possible. Concord, New Hampshire, 2 to 4 inches in the mountains, 1 to 2 in the valleys. Worcester, Massachusetts, 1 to 2 inches Tuesday afternoon. Springfield, Massachusetts, an inch or two with some icing concerns on the hilltops. Bangor, Maine, the down east areas could see 2 to 3 inches of snow Tuesday night. Manchester, New Hampshire, 1 to 2 inches with a brief period of freezing rain mixed in. For the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida, here is some good news for you. High pressure is going to hold strong over the southeast through much of this week. Atlanta, you are mainly dry with spring-like warmth, highs in the mid-70s. Charlotte, North Carolina, you dodge the worst of everything this week. Just some passing showers possible late in the week. Raleigh, mostly dry and warm. Charleston, South Carolina, beautiful spring weather through the weekend. Savannah, Georgia, warm and mainly dry. Jacksonville, Florida, sunshine and highs near 80. Miami, Tampa, Orlando, you are all in great shape this week. No weather concerns at all. Enjoy it while the rest of the country is dealing with chaos. For Alabama and Mississippi, you are on the fringe of the action. Birmingham, storms possible. Friday evening into Saturday, mainly gusty winds and heavy rain. The severe threat is lower for you than areas further west. Montgomery, similar situation, storms late Friday into Saturday. Jackson, Mississippi, you are in the rain zone, storms Thursday through Saturday with some locally heavy rainfall. Tupelo, Mississippi, storms Friday evening. Meridian, Mississippi, storms late Friday into Saturday. Mobile, mainly rain late in the week, low severe threat. Hattiesburg, rain Thursday through Saturday. For Louisiana, you are going to catch some of the rain from this system. Shreveport, storms Wednesday evening and again Friday. You are close enough to the main action to see some severe weather, mainly hail and gusty winds. Monroe, similar timing to Shreveport. Baton Rouge, mainly rain Wednesday through Friday. New Orleans, scattered thunderstorms possible Wednesday into Thursday, mainly a rain event for you. Lake Charles, storms Wednesday into Thursday. Alexandria, storms Wednesday evening and rain continuing into Friday. For the upper Midwest, you are mostly on the northern fringe, but not completely out of the woods. Minneapolis and St. Paul, you stay mainly north of the severe weather, but could see gusty thunderstorms late Friday into Saturday. Milwaukee, thunderstorms possible Friday night into Saturday, mainly rain and wind. Madison, Wisconsin, similar to Milwaukee, storms possible Friday night. Green Bay, on the very edge, isolated storms possible Saturday. Duluth, Minnesota, you are likely in the clear for severe weather, but could see some rain showers. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, an interesting spot because the backside of Friday's storm system could bring a brief burst of snow or wintry mix Saturday. Rochester, Minnesota, storms possible Friday night with gusty winds. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, storms Friday evening into overnight. Davenport, Iowa, storms Friday night into Saturday morning. Waterloo, Iowa, storms possible late Friday. Omaha, Nebraska, storms Friday afternoon into evening, some severe potential. Lincoln, Nebraska, similar timing to Omaha. For the Dakotas and Mountain States, here is a separate piece of the forecast that is worth mentioning. A shot of winter weather is possible Friday and Saturday across parts of the Rockies, including Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and extreme western South Dakota and Nebraska. Denver, you could see rain changing to snow Friday evening into Saturday as colder air wraps in behind the storm system. Rapid City, South Dakota, wintry mix possible Saturday. Cheyenne, Wyoming, snow possible Friday night into Saturday. Billings, Montana, a passing snow shower possible but minimal impacts expected. Boise, Idaho, you stay mainly dry this week. Salt Lake City, a chance of mountain snow Friday into Saturday. For the state of Michigan, here are your cities. Detroit, thunderstorms possible Thursday night into Friday, mainly rain and gusty winds. Grand Rapids, storms possible Friday into Saturday. Lansing, similar timing. Kalamazoo, storms Thursday night into Friday. Saginaw and Bay City, storms possible late Friday. Traverse City, on the edge, isolated storms possible Saturday. Marquette, you are likely staying north of the action with just some rain showers. Now let me bring this back to the severe weather because I have not talked about Saturday yet, and Saturday is the encore performance that no one is ready for. But first, there is a critical piece of preparation advice that could save your life this week, and I want to make sure you hear it before we move on. If you are in any of the areas I have mentioned for Wednesday through Saturday severe weather, here is what I need you to do today. First, identify the lowest, most interior room on the lowest floor of your home. That is your safe spot. No windows, no exterior walls if possible. A closet, a bathroom, a basement. That is where you go when a tornado warning is issued. Second, make sure every person in your household knows where that room is and can get there in under 60 seconds. Practice it tonight. Third, if you have a weather radio, put fresh batteries in it right now. If you do not have one, download a reliable weather app on your phone and make sure severe weather alerts are turned on. Do not rely on outdoor tornado sirens to wake you up at 2 in the morning. They are designed for people who are already outside. Fourth, and this one is specifically for the flooding threat. If you live near a creek, a river, a drainage ditch, or any low-lying area, know your flood escape route. When a flash flood warning is issued, you may have minutes, not hours, to get to higher ground. Never, and I cannot stress this enough, never drive through floodwaters. It takes just 12 inches of moving water to sweep a car off the road. 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock a full-grown adult off their feet. Turn around, do not drown. That phrase exists because people die every single year doing exactly that. Fifth, charge your devices. If you are in an area expecting severe weather, make sure your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you use to receive weather alerts, is fully charged before the storms arrive. Power outages are likely, especially in the heavy rain and wind zones. And here is a detail that a lot of people overlook. If you have a vehicle, fill up your gas tank today or tomorrow. If power goes out in your area for an extended period, gas stations cannot pump fuel. Having a full tank gives you options for evacuation or just running your car for heat and charging devices if needed. Also, for folks with medical needs, if you rely on electrically powered medical equipment, have a backup plan. Know where the nearest shelter with generator power is located. Contact your local emergency management office to get on their list for priority assistance. Now, let me bring this back to the severe weather because I have not talked about Saturday yet, and Saturday is the encore performance that no one is ready for. Saturday, March 7th, brings yet another round of severe weather as the cold front sags back southward into the Ozarks and the southern plains. Dallas and Fort Worth, you are going to be under a severe weather threat for the third consecutive day, 3 days in a row. The tornado threat on Saturday currently looks lower than Friday, but we are still talking about damaging winds, large hail, and we absolutely cannot rule out a tornado or two. Here is your Saturday timing for the key cities. Dallas and Fort Worth, storms develop Saturday afternoon between 1 and 4 in the evening, mainly hail and wind threats. Storms continue through the evening. Oklahoma City, another round of storms Saturday afternoon into evening. The severe threat is lower than Friday but still present. Tulsa, storms Saturday afternoon into evening. Heavy rain continues to pile up. Springfield, Missouri, storms continue Saturday. Flash flood watches will likely be in effect. Fort Smith, Arkansas, more storms Saturday, adding to already saturated ground. Little Rock, storms Saturday afternoon into evening with continued flooding concerns. 3 straight days of severe weather in the same region is exhausting. I know that. But here is what I need you to understand. When you are under multiple days of watches and warnings, alert fatigue becomes your biggest enemy. You hear the tornado siren for the 3rd time in 3 days and you start thinking it is probably nothing. That is exactly when people get hurt. Do not let that happen to you or your family. Keep your weather radio on. Keep the weather app notifications turned on. Have a plan for where you go when a tornado warning is issued, and make sure everyone in your household knows that plan. Here is what really concerns me about this entire sequence, and it is something most forecasters are not emphasizing enough. The combination of all this severe weather happening over drought, hardened ground with 7+ inches of rain in some areas could create a flash flooding disaster on top of the severe weather disaster. When you have tornado warnings and flash flood warnings happening at the same time in the same county, that creates a life-threatening situation where people are forced to make impossible choices. Do you shelter in your basement from the tornado, or do you evacuate because the creek behind your house is rising? These are the kinds of scenarios we could be facing Thursday through Saturday, especially in the Ozarks. Now, before I let you go, I need to mention what is developing beyond this week because the storm train does not end on Saturday. The pattern analysis shows another major trough developing around 10 to 15 days from now, roughly March 10th through the 15th. This system could be even more powerful than what we are dealing with this week. Early model data shows a very strong push of Arctic air colliding with the warm, moist air that has been building over the eastern United States. That clash could produce another round of severe weather, potentially including a more significant tornado outbreak, plus a possible return of winter weather, including snow across parts of the Midwest, the Plains, and potentially the Northeast and Great Lakes. I will have a full breakdown of that system in my next video because the models are just now starting to lock in on the details. But I want you to know it is coming so you can start preparing now. Make sure you have fresh batteries in your weather radio. Make sure your emergency kit is stocked and ready. And if you have a storm shelter, make sure it is accessible and everyone knows how to get to it. Let me give you one more critical piece of information before we wrap up. Temperatures this week are going to be 20 to 30 degrees above average across a massive portion of the country. We are talking about low to mid 80s in places that normally see highs in the 50s this time of year. That warmth is fuel for these storms. Cities like Columbus, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Memphis, Springfield, and St. Louis are all going to experience this unusual spring heat along with the thunderstorms. Even in areas where the storms are not severe, expect thunder, lightning, and heavy rain to be a constant theme for the next week. Here is my final summary and what you need to do right now. Today, Tuesday, March 3rd. If you are in the Mid-Atlantic or New England, watch for ice and snow on the morning commute. Wednesday, March 4th, if you are in North Texas or western Arkansas, severe storms with large hail from mid-afternoon through late evening. Thursday, March 5th, if you are in the southern plains from San Angelo to Wichita Falls to Lawton, supercells with tornado potential from early afternoon through the evening. Friday, March 6th, this is the big one. If you are anywhere from Dallas to Kansas City to southern Iowa, supercells with significant tornado potential during the afternoon, transitioning to a destructive squall line in the evening with the threat continuing overnight. Saturday, March 7th, another round for the southern plains with damaging winds and hail, third straight day for many areas. Now let me break down something important about the science of what is happening this week that will help you understand why the forecasts might change slightly over the next few days. Right now, on Tuesday, we are 3 days away from the Friday event, which is our biggest concern day. At 3 days out, the Storm Prediction Center can identify the general area where severe weather will occur, and they have done that with the massive 15% risk zone from Dallas to southern Iowa. But the exact placement of where the worst supercells and strongest tornadoes will develop that comes into sharper focus with each passing day. Here is what that means for you practically. If you are inside that Friday risk zone, do not wait for the forecast to narrow down to your exact city before you start preparing. Prepare now, because by the time the tornado watch is issued Friday afternoon, you should have already identified your shelter, charged your devices, and briefed your family on the plan. The people who get hurt in these events are overwhelmingly the ones who were not prepared, who did not think it would happen to them, or who waited too long to take action. There is a concept in emergency management called the 24-hour rule. Whatever you think you will need during a severe weather event, get it ready at least 24 hours in advance. That means by Thursday evening, if you are in the Friday risk zone, everything should already be in place. Your safe room should be cleared out, your emergency supplies should be staged, your phone should be charged, and your weather alerts should be tested. Let me also address something for the farming and agricultural community across the plains and the Midwest. This storm train is arriving during early spring planting season for many of you. The combination of large hail and heavy rain could cause significant damage to fields that have already been worked. If you have equipment parked outside, consider moving it under shelter before Wednesday if possible. Livestock that are in exposed areas should be moved to more protected locations, especially ahead of the Friday event when we could see very large hail and destructive winds. And for the business owners in the affected areas, here is a practical tip. If your business has outdoor signage, patio furniture, or any loose items outside, bring them in or secure them before Wednesday. Flying debris during a severe thunderstorm or tornado is one of the leading causes of injury and property damage. A patio umbrella in 70-mile-per-hour winds becomes a projectile. A loose sign becomes a battering ram. Take 15 minutes to secure your property and you could save thousands of dollars in damage. For schools and institutions across the affected region, Wednesday through Saturday presents a challenge for outdoor activities, school sporting events, and any outdoor gatherings. If you are planning an outdoor event this week, anywhere from Texas to the Ohio Valley, have an indoor backup plan ready. For the flooding, if you live near a creek, stream, or low-lying area anywhere from northeast Texas through Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia, be prepared for flash flooding from Thursday through Saturday and possibly beyond. Pay attention to the difference between a flood watch, which means conditions are favorable for flooding, and a flash flood warning, which means flooding is imminent or already occurring. When a flash flood warning is issued, act immediately. Do not wait to see if the water is actually rising. Let me circle back to one more group of cities I have not covered yet. For the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, you are all looking at a quiet and mainly dry week. The jet stream pattern that is producing all this severe weather in the central and eastern United States is actually keeping the West Coast in a relatively calm pattern. Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona, dry and warming up nicely. Las Vegas, dry with temperatures climbing into the 70s. Albuquerque, New Mexico, mostly dry, but you could catch a passing shower Thursday as the edge of one of those troughs clips southern New Mexico. For the northern plains and the far north, Bismarck, North Dakota, mainly dry and cool. Fargo, North Dakota, dry with some clouds. Helena, Montana, dry week ahead. Missoula, Montana, quiet and cool. Anchorage, Alaska, you are doing your own thing as always, completely disconnected from this pattern. Honolulu, Hawaii, same story, tropical warmth, and the occasional trade wind shower. Now I have a request for you. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now telling me what city and state you are in, and I will make sure to include specific timing for your area in tomorrow's update. Whether you are in a small town in the Ozarks or a suburb of Kansas City, tell me where you are and I will get you the information you need. I read every single comment, and when I see where you are watching from, it helps me know which areas to focus on in the next forecast. So do not be shy. Tell me your city, your state, and if there is a specific day this week you are most worried about, let me know that too, and I will address it directly. And let me tell you why this community matters right now more than ever. During severe weather events, local reports from people on the ground are incredibly valuable. When you see hail falling in your backyard and you report the size, that helps confirm what the radar is showing and helps forecasters issue better warnings for communities downwind of you. When you see a rotating wall cloud and report it, that can trigger a tornado warning that saves lives 10, 20, 30 miles down the road. You are not just a viewer, you are part of the Weather Safety Network. If you found this helpful, share this with someone in these affected areas. Share it with your neighbors, your family members, the people who might not be watching weather forecasts right now but need to be. Text this to your mom in Oklahoma City. Send it to your brother in Tulsa. Share it in your neighborhood Facebook group in Dallas. This is the kind of week where sharing a weather video could save someone's life, and I mean that seriously. One share could reach someone who had no idea this was coming. And speaking of things you might not know are coming, let me give you one more piece of information that could change the entire conversation by next week. The European model and the American model are both showing signals for what could be an even more significant weather event around March 10th through the 15th. I am talking about a potential polar vortex disruption that could send a massive blast of Arctic air southward, colliding with this unseasonably warm, moisture-rich air mass that has been building all week. If that scenario verifies, we could be looking at a major winter storm for parts of the Midwest and Northeast, combined with an even more intense severe weather outbreak for the southern plains and the Southeast. The early signals are concerning, and I will have my first detailed breakdown of that potential event in my next video. Let me also mention one more time for the folks in the Ozarks, the rolling hills and steep terrain in that region make flash flooding especially dangerous. Water funnels into the narrow valleys faster than in flat terrain, and the flash flood can arrive with almost no warning. If you are in the Branson area, the Table Rock Lake region, anywhere around the Buffalo National River, or in the Boston Mountains of Arkansas, please take the flood threat this week as seriously as the tornado threat. Historically, more people die from flooding in these types of events than from tornadoes. For the trucking and long-haul driving community, if your route takes you through Interstate 40, Interstate 44, Interstate 35, or Interstate 70 this week, build extra time into your schedule and monitor the weather closely. Wednesday through Saturday, these corridors will be in the direct path of severe storms. Pulling over and waiting out a severe thunderstorm is always safer than trying to drive through it. A tractor-trailer in 70-mile-per-hour crosswinds is a dangerous situation for everyone on the road. In my next video, I am going to have updated model data that will narrow down the exact placement of Friday's worst supercells. Right now, it could be the Red River Corridor, the Interstate 44 Corridor, or the Interstate 35 Corridor. By tomorrow, we will have a much better idea, and that information could be the difference between being prepared and being caught off guard. I am also going to break down that potentially even more dangerous storm system developing for mid-March that I mentioned earlier. Make sure you do not miss that update. Turn on your notifications. The storm train is rolling, and it is not stopping anytime soon. Stay safe out there. I will see you in the next one.